Stompers fell to the Blues in the second game of the two-game set. Last night, they looked to get back in the win column today against the Alameda Merchants. I'm Kieran Costa, joined alongside Roman Raffelli on the Sonoma Stompers pregame show, a nice Thursday afternoon edition. As the Stompers 1-1, the Merchants got a win last night in walk-off fashion, look to keep the good times rolling here at Arnold Field. Welcome into the Sonoma Index Tribune press box. And Roman, the Bats were quiet against the Slow Blues. They scored 7 runs in the opening game, to their credit, but again, that came on less than 7 hits. And then yesterday, they struggled as well, just 3 runs on 7 hits, and only 1 extra base hit all series long. Stompers have to find a way to put the ball in the gap, don't they?
Yeah, and with the way they played, they're pretty lucky they got that first game. The 1 extra base hit being the McCann-Libby home run late in the game last night, but the Stompers just haven't been able to really generate small ball. They've had some small ball situations, which is what this team prides their offense on. The problem is they haven't been able to convert and take advantage of a lot of mistakes defensively, and they haven't been walked a lot. We saw it early in the non-conference schedule that teams were giving them a lot of walks, and they were able to capitalize on that, but just haven't been able to do that since starting CCL play. So tonight, you got to play some good team offense, and you got to get balls in the gaps. Just been few and far between lately.
Yeah, let's go back to that small ball. It felt like they got away from the game plan a little bit yesterday. I mean, they had an unsuccessful sacrifice bunt from Gideon Hahn. Well, an unsuccessful one and a successful one. But walks and hit by pitches, which they've capitalized on all year. They struggled to do that a little bit. How did they get back to that little Zach Pace small ball style of offense?
Yeah, I think it all goes back to having quality at-bats. They had a few of them last night, but they definitely didn't seem like they had the same Stomper approach that they had the first 3 or 4 games of the season. They got to get back to taking good counts, being just aware of the zone. They felt really kind of lost at the plate last night, and they just got to get better. AB, see some pitches, and then dig into the bullpen pretty early.
Yeah, let's move to the pitching side. Brandon Leone gets the ball for Zach Pace as they try and take down the Merchants in the first meeting between the two teams this year, and he filled up the zone. This coaching staff talks a lot about filling up the zone, and he did that. He didn't give up he didn't get a strikeout, but he also didn't walk or hit anybody in his 3 innings of work back the second game of the season, but 4 earned runs, and he gave up 2 home runs. How does he stay in the zone without giving up the long ball?
Yeah, he's got to be careful. You start running fastballs over the middle of the plate and high. It's a very hittable pitch, very easy pitch to elevate, especially here at Arnold. So you got to pitch low. You got to paint the corners well and try to get guys to roll over the ball rather than lift it.
Yeah, talking about this Merchants team, they've only played 1 game all season. It was last night. They won in thrilling fashion, walk-off fashion. Ben Ryland pinch hit knock through the left side, won it for Alameda. But that's their only game played. The Stompers have played 7. Do you think they're a little bit more in the swing of things? You think that helps them out?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, this is a team that's played more games together. They've had more reps. The chemistry is definitely starting to click, especially, with some unique putouts we saw last night, good throws from the infield, making really good relays. But, if you're the Merchants, you got to start to build that chemistry, know your guys, and just go out there and have fun to ultimately get that chemistry going early.
Yeah, so getting back to the game plan, as the Stompers have played a lot of baseball. But now let's move to our favorite segment of the pregame show. It's Roman's Radar. Let's start on the home side today. Stomp Watch. Who are you looking out for in the lineup?
Yeah, it's going to be McCann-Libby today. He had the home run last night, and he's just been really confident at the plate, seeing the ball pretty well. He's only 1 for 7 in CCL play, but that is just 2 games. And, the home run last night was a piece to left field. He's a good piece hitting the 4-hole tonight, and someone who the Stompers can take advantage of.
Yeah, a hat trick to go along with that home run. 3 Ks and a home run, but it's not a bad pick. And now let's move over and take a look behind enemy lines. The Alameda Merchants, not a lot to go on 1 game, but who jumped out?
Yeah, for me it's going to be Jack Bollinger from Westmont College. He had 30 RBIs this spring, 57 hits, and he hit just over 300. A great bat in the 2-hole today, someone who they're going to look to get the spark going with early and then continue it throughout the game.
Yeah, Bollinger played in the CCL South last year for the Santa Barbara Foresters, and it's his second tour of duty in Alameda. He played for the Anchors 2 summers ago. That's a Anchors team that won the BACL. So that's all the time we have on the Stomper pregame show today. Zach Pace and TC Fairfield are at home plate with our umpire and crew. That means Anthems and First Pitch are on the other side. Thanks for tuning in to this Thursday edition of the Stompers pregame show. We have baseball when we come back on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. We're just about set for some Thursday evening baseball here in Sonoma. The Stompers looking to get back in the win column and back over 500 on the CCL season. A 4-3 combined record, 1-1 in league play. The Merchants playing just their second game of the season, second in as many days. That was a walk-off yesterday. And Brandon Leone gets the ball for Sonoma. The 5'10", 180-pound right-hander from Turlock, California, plays his college ball at Modesto JC. He's made one appearance this year, and in 3 innings, he gave up 4 earned runs, 4 hits, no walks or strikeouts, and 2 long balls. That's the issue. The defense behind him, he'll have in left field Nick Sebastiani, in center field Landon Akers, and in right field again is Brady Shannon. On the left side of the infield is McCann Libby at third and Colton Boardman at shortstop. Adam Halarby back in the lineup at second. Trent Keys at first base, and his battery mate is Connor Pulowski. And here is the lineup that they'll face as announced by manager T.C. Fairfield. Ben Ryland, the left fielder, leads off, followed by the center fielder Jack Bollinger and the DH Hayden Young Goldberg. The first baseman Angelo Luna hits in the cleanup spot. The right fielder Cy Turner hits fifth. The shortstop Jace Jeremiah, he's back with the Merchants in the 6 hole. 7, 8, 9 goes Chase Dittmer, Frank Zapata, and Noah Smallwood. Ryland, Bollinger, and Young Goldberg will be the 3 to hit in the top of the first against Leone. Ryland, a left-handed hitter out of Oklahoma State, has 1 at-bat this season, and it was a pinch hit walk-off single in yesterday's ball game. The third base coach is Dan Mills, and it's going to be a player coaching first base. We'll get that to you in just a moment. The first pitch of the ball game misses away. First pitch at 6:12. It's 71 degrees here in Sonoma. Chase Taylor, the pitcher, not Chase Taylor, the former Stomper, coaches first base. The pitch is a called strike by Andrew Bernius, and the count's 1-1, 90 miles an hour from Brandon Leone. Ryland takes a curveball. That's a called strike over the outside corner, and the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Alameda played a fun one yesterday. They gave up 2 in the top of the ninth, then scored 2 in the bottom of the ninth to win it, and this game is just getting underway as that one misses low and inside. The count's now 2-2. Jack Bollinger and Hayden Young Goldberg to follow. The 2-2 is hit hard but foul on the first baseline. Back-to-back lefties in TC Fairfield's lineup today. To open up, the Stompers and the Merchants faced off 8 times last season. Sonoma took 5 of 8 as this one misses up and away, and we start a ball game with a full count of 3-2. Leone to Ryland, high and outside ball 4, and after all that I said about the command in his first outing, beg your pardon, it's a full count of 3-2, and that one's foul back. And I think we might have had a mistake with the count, but either way, we're going to see an 8th pitch of the at-bat. 3-2 is low ball 4, so Leone's forced to throw a couple more pitches. It's going to be a walk either way, and that brings up Jack Bollinger. Bollinger hit 300 at Westmont, a strong season for the left-handed hitting center fielder. He played for the Santa Barbara Foresters last year and the Alameda Anchors the year before that, now up with the big club's second CCL campaign. Starts as he fouls it back to the screen. Went 1 for 3 in last night's walk-off win over San Francisco. Ryland leads off first. Bollinger, open stance from the left side. taps the bat on his shoulder and takes a called strike. Connor Pulowski back picks to first base, and Trent Keyes' swipe tag is a little too late. Ryland back to the base with a headlong dive.
And Pulowski likes to pick back to first base. He's got a great snap throw over there. Be on the lookout for that tonight.
The pitch was called a ball, I think now, as that one out of the glove of Pulowski. The count's now 2-1, and some early miscommunication between us, the umpire, the players. I think the count's 2 balls and 1 strike. Right on left, Leone to Bollinger. Runner doesn't go, and the pitch misses outside. 3-1. Zach Pace before the game talked about how he liked how Leone filled up the zone. He just needs to keep it down. Let's see if he can do that on a 3-1 pitch to Bollinger. That one sent towards center, right at Landon Akers in his track. Now comes on a couple of steps and makes the catch. A hard hit baseball by Bollinger, but it finds a glove, and that's the first out of the ball game.
Yeah, it's big for Leone to fill up that zone. You don't want to shy away from contact, but you can't leave fastballs. Really, anything above the belt, you got to live between the knee and the belt, get some ground balls, let the defense work, and work quickly.
That brings up Hayden Young-Goldberg, another guy who's in his second CCL season, a different club. He played for the Menlo Park Legends last year from Palo Alto, so that makes sense. And he got just 5 at-bats for Santa Clara. Leone's slide step delivery is high, 1-0, and the pitch count climbing early, 14. And there's still just 1 out in the first. Another lefty bat. The pitch is low, a nice block by Pulowski. It's 2-0, and Leone did such a good job of getting ahead in his first start. He's struggling to do that against the top 3 of the lineup. Another lefty on deck. They have 4 lefties in the top 3. The Stompers have 4 lefties on the roster. The 2-0 is low, 3-0. A fastball, about a 55-footer. Nice block again by Pulowski. So now Leone's in a little bit of trouble. 3-0 coming. Outside corner called strike. He went to the fastball. And got the call on the outer third, says Andrew Bernias. He's going to be helped by Harvey Maxey and Dean Poteet today. 3-1. Still the count leverage swings the way of Hayden Young-Goldberg, and he takes outside ball 4. A couple free passes, and Alameda is in prime position to get the first run of the game. 2 on, nobody out for Angelo Luna, who plays his ball upcoming at St. Edward's University. He played at 5 Cosumnes River College.
And the Merchants coming into this game just super patient at the plate. They're not forcing contact, not pushing the envelope, just taking what they're being given, and that's a lot of balls right now.
Leone checks second and delivers. Foul back to the screen, 0-1. And you guessed who's in the on-deck circle, a lefty, Cy Turner. I mean, you talk about a lefty lane. This is a lefty highway at this point. It's half the lineup. 0-1. Low. And I guess at this level, I mean, there's less of playing the matchups. You're not going to burn a reliever for one hitter if you go righty-lefty in your lineup. But you go 5 lefties in a row. I don't really see the point of that. The 1-1 is low. It's over but low. He's keeping it down in the zone like Zach Pace asked, but... And you hear Zach Pace barking from the dugout. Throw that pitch again. That's exactly where we want it. 2-1. Outside corner called strike 2-2. Angelo Luna steps out. He doesn't quite like that call.
And that spot's really been the only consistent strike Leon's gotten so far in this one.
2-2 coming. It'll be his 23rd pitch of the inning. And it's bounced through the right side. Dan Mills is going to send the runner, and Brady Shannon kicked it. I don't know. I think you have to give him a single and an RBI. You can never assume that out's going to be made at the plate. So it just goes as a knock for Luna. Ryland scores from second. It was an aggressive send from Dan Mills, and I think if Brady Shannon picked it up cleanly, he had him thrown out, but instead he knocked it down, and there's runners at the corners. And now you have to avoid the big inning. RBI single for Luna. To third base goes Young Goldberg, and the pitch misses low. 1-0. And your offense that's been struggling a little bit. Just 3 runs in the last 16 innings on the offensive side are now down 1-0, and there's another runner at first base and third. 1-1 coming to Turner. Low. Juno, that's, again, not a bad miss. You want that to be a little bit more of a competitive pitch, but that's the 3rd or 4th time he's missed over but low. He is executing the game plan just all around the edges. The pitch. Outside corner called strike. That's been given all night long. Turner hit 162 with 3 home runs at Memphis, and he fouls this one back to the screen. And the count's full 3-2. Payoff coming. I wouldn't be surprised if they send Luna from first, especially in a 1st and 3rd situation. Dancing off the first base bag. Leone comes set. The runner doesn't go, and it's high ball 4. The bases are loaded, courtesy of a handful of free passes and a single. To second base goes Luna. To first base goes Turner, and out to the mound comes Zach Pace to talk to his righty. He's thrown 29 pitches. Not many of them have been for strikes is the issue. He had zero walks his first outing. And this outing, 3 of the first 5 have reached that way. And a big at-bat coming for Jace Jeremiah, who was on this Merchants team last year. He got some run at St. John's, 32 games, and he was efficient. Hit .312, reached base at a .423 clip, and hit a couple of home runs. Went 1 for 3 last night. A St. John's athletic program that had a solid year. A basketball team made a run in March Madness. We focused on the baseball team as Zach Pace, Connor Pulowski, and Brandon Leone are still talking out on the mound, and Andrew Bernius is not really expediting the conversation since he's gotten there.
Well, it appears to have kind of continued it with Zach Pace here. Bit of a back and forth. I'm curious if this is about the zone or...
And here comes Dean Poteet out from second base. Maybe he wants to move things along. And Zach Pace has just been ejected from this ball game, and he's going to follow Andrew Bernius back to home plate. And that seems premature from the home plate umpire. He's all 3 umpire crew, and now Zach's upset, as he should be. That was a very civil conversation is what it looked like, and he's getting held back by Dean Poteet. And Zach Pace is displeased with the home plate umpire. And you can hear, we don't need a hot mic to hear him. He says, I was asking you a question. And Andrew Bernius is just walking down the third base line. He wants no part of it. And that's a tough way to start the ball game if you're Sonoma. I mean, I'm no umpire, but it hasn't been a perfect zone, and then an early hook from Bernius. And it's going to be an early exit today for Zach Pace.
And a lot of times with umpires, it's not about how you necessarily say it, it's what you say, and some of them just have a nerve for certain things, and for him, I guess it was the questioning of, the calling on the top half of the inning versus the bottom half. Not really sure, it wasn't on the mound, but Zach Pace certainly not happy, and I can't imagine home plate umpire Andrew Bernius is either.
But I mean, usually on an ejection, at least it'll be some sort of heated exchange. I mean, Zach Pace was just standing on the mound. It seemed like having a conversation. Bernius goes to the book early, and maybe it works. Maybe he brings in the outside corner from the 2.5 balls off the plate that it's been here in inning number 1. But we shall see. And Jace Jeremiah will finally come to the plate. And I've seen Zach Pace get ejected, but I haven't seen him get ejected with his arms crossed, just talking. And we'll see if that's woken up the Stompers a little bit. That one hits him in the helmet. Maybe it hasn't. And Jeremiah is down in some pain. And the Stompers athletic trainer immediately out there to help out. As there's a little circle made around Jace Jeremiah. That one clearly slipped out of the hand of Brandon Leone, and it hit him just square on the helmet, but Jeremiah's going to start walking towards first base along with the Stompers athletic trainer Allie, and this first inning has not gone the way really anybody would have liked, and the bases remain loaded. There's still just 1 out, 2 runs across. I'm still a little bit surprised at that quick hook. I feel cheated. Where was my guys are savages in that box moment? It looked like a consultation that ended in an ejection. As Jace Jeremiah is getting tended to down the first baseline. A lot going on here in the early going. Jeremiah looks like he'll stay in the ball game for now. TC Fairfield will talk with the Stomper training staff and head back to the dugout. The bases are still loaded. It's 2-0 Alameda, and there's still just 1 out. And now, Kenny Meimersdorf, Paul Madereno, Dave Hoke will have their hands full trying to navigate a full baseball game without their skipper, Zach Pace. 2 balls and, we're now reset. That one misses inside. 1-0.
And Brandon Leone just consistently missing on the inside. It looks like he's throwing a 2-seam fastball. It's just riding too much, and he's not able to locate it. The pitch is popped up towards right center. Akers is moving over. It's going to be the center fielder's ball. It's deep enough to score the run. Cut off by Boardman. It's a productive out and a sacrifice fly for Chase Dittmer. It's 3-0. And you need to limit the damage to no more than 3 runs. And immediate action in the bullpen for Sonoma. It's Haroon Pelja. 32 pitches and a laborious first frame for Brandon Leone. Turner is off first.
and Luna's off third. That one's past Pulowski and bounces right back to him. And scampering back to third base is Angela Luna. He didn't get a great read as that one got through. Leon was still out on the pitcher's mound. It would have been a race between him and Connor Pulowski.
Yeah, but that ball bounced pretty hard off the backstop. It probably would have been a close play, but I think it's a smart choice. Turner not pushing it.
But 1-0 coming is a cold strike, 1-1. And I don't mean to come off too harsh against this umpiring crew. I mean, it's not an easy job, but at this level, to hook a manager without even getting that angry seems, I mean, maybe just unnecessary more than anything else. Counts 1-2 as it's bounced foul down the third baseline. That one misses low. 2-2. So deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. The Stompers have yet to get their ABs yet. 2-2 home. Outside for a ball. Payoff coming. Low inside, 4-4. The bases remain loaded for the 9-hitter Ethan Smallwood. Everybody getting ups here in inning number 1. Noah Smallwood, beg your pardon, swings and misses, nothing in 1. Went to University of Southern Indiana, where he went 2 for 10 last season. Bases full, already 3 in for Alameda. That one is a cold strike. The 0-2 pitch is on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the inning is finally over. 9 come to the plate, 3 score, 3 left, and 3 are out. For Alameda, they get 3 runs, and they find a way to get the Stompers manager Zach Pace hooked from the ballgame. An eventful first inning. Stompers trail 3-0 as they come up for the last of the first on the Sonoma Stompers broadcast network.
Do we know?
Back to baseball in the bottom of the first. The Stompers trail 3-0, and they are now without their manager if you're just tuning in. And here's the manager that was announced by Zach Pace, but will be managed by Dave Hoke, hitting coach Paul Maderana, bench coach Casey Gilroy, and Kenny Mimerstorff. Landon Akers leads off, followed by Colton Boardman, Nick Sebastiani, and McCann Libby. Paul Lazul, the DH, Adam Al-Harbi, the second baseman, and then Brady Shannon, the right fielder. Trent Keys, the first baseman in the 8-hole, and Connor Pulowski rounds out the 9 against Kai Jovanovic, the 6'3 senior, who made 8 appearances at USF this past season, 1-0, where he gave up 5 earned runs in 9 innings of work. 13 walks to 6 strikeouts, Roman. The Stompers have to have a disciplined approach.
Yeah, that's what we saw in the top half of this inning. And we also saw kind of a squeezed zone by the home plate umpires. It's going to be a big game of patience and discipline if the Stompers are going to want to come back.
First one to Akers is high. First pitch curveball stayed above the zone. Akers is 2 for 8 in league play with 2 runs scored. He's reached base all 7 games the Stompers have played this year, league and out of league combined. And a called strike on the inside corner that counts 1-1. The 1-1 coming. Akers fouls it back to the screen, 1-2. Colton Boardman and Nick Sebastiani will follow him in the first. The Stompers' bats have work to do. They already trail this one 3-0. In a very eventful top of inning number 1, the Merchants came away with 3 on just 1 hit. The pitch. Akers goes fishing and comes up empty, 1 away.
Now batting number 3 from CSU Northridge, Colton Boardman.
That brings up Colton Boardman. He went 3 for 8 in the Blues series, had 2 hits last night. Back up in the 2 spot, we saw him move down, picked up a couple RBIs in the 5 spot, the 6 spot, but he's back to the 2, and he takes low and inside, 1-0. The 1-0. Boardman hits it hard to second and off the glove of Noah Smallwood. That was a very hard hit baseball off the bat of Colton Boardman. Roman, you haven't liked the scoring. What do you have on that one?
I mean, it hit him in the glove. I think that's a makeable play. I'd score it as an E4, but
it's a bullet off the bat.
It hit him in the glove. I mean, he's got the glove to catch the ball. If you're not catching the ball with the glove, what are you doing?
Well, it's not our job. The official scorer says single for Colton Boardman. Nick Sebastiani takes a first pitch curveball in there, called strike 1. Boardman at first with a single. That one could have gone either way. It would have been a nice play if he'd made it, but I don't know. Maybe I would have given him an error as well. And now a pick back. Boardman safe. Dirties up that home white uniform for the Stompers. The Merchants wearing their road navy with the trident on the left breast. Boardman off first. He's swiped a couple bags already, and Sebastiani takes low. The count's 1-1.
And he got a big lead and a big secondary there, but read the ball down and just didn't go. It was a good block behind home plate.
One coming to Sebastiani. It's lined back to the screen. The count's 1-2. Early going of this one, Stompers trail 3-0 in the runs department and 1-0 in the managers department. Zach Pace was ejected by home plate umpire Andrew Bernius during a consultation on the mound in the top of the first inning. We don't know what was said by either party there. The 1-2 is a called strike 3 just below the knees of Sebastiani. Back-to-back
Now batting
outs
number
recorded
40,
via the K.
third baseman number 49, McCann Libby.
And that brings up McCann Libby.
That was a great pitch there from Jovanovic, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He gave up the base hit, but he's just pitching quickly, pitching with a lead that he got in that first inning, and that's tough to get on top of if you're the home team.
Working from the stretch, he misses low. A great read by Colton Boardman. He steals second base. Boardman now in scoring position. The Stompers need to get him in when they get there. Stompers hit into 3 double plays yesterday. 2 outs in the inning here. That's not a possibility, but Libby looking to replicate his third at-bat yesterday, which ended in a home run. That's low 2-0. Boardman not running on this one, but leverage count for McCann Libby 2-0.
And this is a big spot for the Stompers. You got a very capable hitter at the dish and a guy who gets great reads off the bases in scoring position. It'd be big to get 1 here in the bottom of the first after giving him 3 in the top for the Stompers.
2-0. Libby's fooled. He goes halfway. We saw that a couple times yesterday in his 3 strikeouts, and he was fooled. He went halfway, but held up before going past halfway. It counts 3 balls and no strike, and I think I need to just stop talking about the umpiring crew before we get a note sent to us by the league. 3-0 now coming from Jovanovic, and Libby takes a called strike over the outside corner. That strike zone's been extended a little bit off the corner really all year, so you can't be too angry at that one. Libby looking to extend the inning, and he's ahead 3-1. He bounces it back up the middle. Jeremiah fields and throws low, picked by Angelo Luna. Very nice play at first base. Saved an error, but putout goes 6-3. The Stompers get a hit, but leave him at second base. We head to the top of inning number 2. The Stompers have a new pitcher when we come back on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. The Stompers have to dip into the bullpen probably a lot earlier than he would have liked. So Leone only goes 1 inning. He gives up 1 hit. The problem was 3 walks and a hit by pitch. He got 1 strikeout. And all 3 runs were earned. They turn to Haroon Pelcha, who's making his 2nd appearance of the year. He pitched well out of the bullpen, going 3 shutout innings back against the Petaluma Express. He got out of a jam in a 1-run game in the 8th, then his offense got him 5 runs in the 9th. So he's proven that he can give you a little bit of length. And now it's Ben Ryland for the second time. He led off the first inning with a walk. See how he starts inning number 2. His team leading by 3 now. Pitch is a cold strike 1. This would be a nice win for the Stomps. Go pick up your manager. The 0-1 to Ryland is sent towards very shallow left center. Landon Akers is coming over, but it's the left fielder Sebastiani that makes the call and the catch. 1 down. That brings up Jack Bollinger, who is a flyout victim to Akers his first time up, and Haroon Pelja's job now is to just stop the bleeding and get the offense back up there. A quick inning would be quite nice. 3-0, Alameda over Sonoma, top of inning number 2. The pitch, swing and a miss. 78, went with a first pitch changeup, and it fooled Bollinger. It's 0-1. 0-1 to Jack. Righty on lefty. Pelja pitches outside. Haroon pitched at Youngstown State this last season, but been around the block a couple times. He pitched at Howard College, Ventura College, Spring Hill College, but finally got 17 appearances in Youngstown, Ohio last year, and he misses outside 2-1. Had an 8.28 ERA in 29 1/3 innings, but he looked very good in his first summer ball appearance. Got the save in that one. The 2-1, swing and a miss again. Goes back to the fastball, challenges him at 87. Bollinger's late, the count's 2-2. Bollinger, a plus defensive center fielder and a perennial top of the lineup guy where he's been. Here he pops this one back towards us over our heads, and the count holds at 2-2. Was on the 2023 Alameda Anchors team that I had the pleasure of being the broadcaster of, a Bay Area Collegiate League Championship team. And an Anchors squad that got swept by the Stompers here this weekend. Up with the big club now, he awaits the 2-2 and takes off the outside corner. The count runs full 3-2. Good battle. He's hit leadoff at different points throughout his career, and he's showing it here as he's awaiting pitch number 7 of the battle with Pelja, and it's fouled off the glove of Pulowski. Straight back to the screen. The Anchors put up 3 runs off Brandon Leone in the top of the first inning, courtesy of 3 walks, a hit by pitch, and a single. 3-2 coming. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Change up low. Bollinger retired for the second time. First strikeout for Pelja. And we'll take a look at, there's only one other CCL North team in action, and it's out of league play. The Walnut Creek Crawdads have lost. They start their season 0-2 in out of league play, much like the Stompers did. These two teams met in the CCL North title game last year. That one went the way of Walnut Creek. They'd eventually get swept in the CCL title series against the Conejo Oaks. The reigning champions are not in action tonight. That one misses low outside.
And that strikeout of Bollinger, a great way to continue the start of this outing. Haroon Pelja probably up a lot sooner than imagined, and just needs to come in and be a calming force here. You have a messy first inning for several reasons. You need to come in and provide some stability.
1-0 pitch. Called strike, outside corner. 1-1. That's painted the lower bottom corner of the zone. One ball and one strike. Pelger looking for a 1-2-3 second inning. The tall right-hander pitches outside. And the count's 2-1. Haroon, 6'5", 230 pounds out of Melbourne. The 2-1 pitch coming is grounded to second. Al Harvey fields wide of the body and throws off the glove of Trent Keys. That was a very weird play. He sort of short-armed it. It was going to be very close, and I think the error probably goes on the first baseman, Trent Keys. And you're giving away outs in a time that you really can't afford to be doing that if you're Sonoma. Thank you for joining us here on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network, spending your Thursday evening along with us. That's Roman Raffelli, and I'm Kieran Costa, perched up in the Sonoma Index Tribune press box at Arnold Field as the Stompers look to get back above 500 in CCL play. And it's going to be one extra pitch as that one's flared to Boardman. Luna is retired. No runs, no hits, and one left. The Stompers bats leading to get back in this ballgame in the last of a second on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. Paul Lazul leads off, a left-handed hitter against the right-handed pitcher Jovanovic. Stompers trail 3-0. Would be a nice time to get going. It'll be followed by Adam Alarbi and Brady Shannon. Lazul went 2 for 3 in last night's game. A couple of knocks got him bumped up to the 5 spot in the order. Adam Alarbi back in the lineup today will hit next. right on left. Jovanovic pitches, and Lazul takes outside ball 1. I'm going to take a moment before I say what I think the pitch is. We're going to wait until a call is made. 1-0 coming to Lazul. Swing and a miss. That was a disgusting back foot slider had Lazul fooled. One and one. A little even stance. Feet slightly close together. He takes outside. 2-1.
And what we've seen from the Stompers so far is a good approach. You can't get it all back in one swing, at least not yet. So you need to put together good team, quality ABs, get on base, and slowly chip away.
Lazul grounds it off the Stomper dugout down the first base line, right to Jacoby Heyer, the Stomper first base coach. Dave Hoke over at third. Merchants 3, Sonoma nothing. Two is grounded foul, same spot. The battle continues, and the pitch counts up to 20 now for Jovanovic. No one up in the bullpen. Lazul struggled in his college season at Monterey Peninsula, hitting under 200. 2-2. Outside corner for a called strike 3 at 91 miles an hour.
Now batting from Modesto Junior College, number 19, Adam Harvey.
That brings up Adam Alharbi, who didn't play in the slow series but went 5 for 18 in out-of-league play. A couple of walks as well, as that one kicks past the catcher, was a potted to the screen. No one on base, tried to backhand pick it in the away batter's box, and it got through him. "1-0 is a called strike. "1-1 is bounced towards first. Gloved by Luna. It's going to be a race to the bag. That's won by the pitcher Jovanovic. The putout goes 3-1, and Alharbi is retired. It's Brady Shannon's turn, who had a tough debut in Sonoma.
And that ball just hit right off the handle, just flared pretty softly into the infield. It's a tough pitch to do much of anything with, but with the zone we've seen so far, you're going to have to expand a little bit and just play some scrappier ball at the plate, but it didn't work out for Alharbi.
Righty on righty, Jovanovic and Shannon. Righty, the right fielder out of Youngstown State, making just his second appearance for the Stomps. He takes low. The counts 1-0. Tough debut yesterday, 3 strikeouts, and he bounced into 2. Against the Blues, Stompers playing a one-off game here against the Merchants, and then 3 with the Seagulls. That one's outside, and the count is 2-0. And I think there's a some sort of ball that's getting played with down the left field line. The left field Oasis found its way on the field, so we have to take a quick time out before Brady Shannon awaits the 2-0. Hitters count. The Stompers got a couple of these in the first inning. They try and do the same thing here. The pitch. Shannon swings and fouls it straight back to the screen. Three to nothing Merchants, bottom of the second. right-handed Jovanovic delivers inside, almost hits Shannon, who turned the front shoulder. He was ready to wear. If that's what you got to do, you have a new man in the dugout. Get on any way you can.
Well, that's what the mindset's going to have to be for the Stompers throughout this game. You're down a manager, down 3 runs early. You just need to play scrappy ball, do whatever it takes to get back in this one and hope for the best.
3-1 to Shannon. That one hit him. That was a curveball at 74. Caught him square on the rear end, and he'll head to first base.
Now batting from Los Medanos, first baseman number 25.
And that brings up Trent Keys, the first baseman out of Los Medanos. Went to San Jose State for a year and then spent last year at LMC. He went 0 for 3 in his only league game he played. He also had a home run in out-of-league play. The lefty lines it into left field an opposite way. Single for Keys. Jumped on the first one he saw from Jovanovic, 89, bottom of the zone, and just served it the other way for a single.
And that's a great piece of hitting there. Hit it where it was pitched, took it the opposite way, and now you've got a little bit of a 2-out rally going. You need to capitalize here and not leave 2 more runners on, just 2 innings through the game.
Yeah, if Zach Pace is watching along in the clubhouse, he has to like what he's seen the last 2 at-bats with 2 outs and nobody aboard. Shannon works what's theoretically a walk. I mean, it was hit by a 3-1 pitch, and then Keys jumps on the first one and singles the opposite way. The pitch is low. It kicks away from Zapata, but holding at second base is Shannon.
And we've seen a couple really nice blocks from Zapata behind the dish. He's working hard, held Boardman a couple times, and that one there could have been pretty catastrophic for this Merchants defense, but able to get in front of it.
Stompers need to take 90 feet any way they can get him. The 1-0 pitch. Pulaski grounds it back to the middle into center field. Dave Hoke is going to send him. Bollinger will throw to third base. Trent Keys is in with a dive. To second goes Pulaski. The throw there is late. It's in and out of the glove of Noah Smallwood. It's a RBI single for Connor Pulowski and some heads-up base running on top of it.
Yeah, just a great sequence there. That's exactly what the Stompers needed. You can see some great hustle from Brady Shannon. We saw Hope waving him, but I don't know that he was stopping from the moment he saw that ball hit. A seeing eye single right up the middle and hit just soft enough that it died in that shallow center field grass. Was a heck of a run for Bollinger, and then the defense throws around the infield a little bit. Now you have second and third still with 2 outs.
Yeah, there wasn't even a defensive really mistake there. The first one to Akers, kicks away from Zapata. He can't find it. Trent Keys is going to come around to score, and the Stompers are rallying here in inning number 2, and they're getting them the fun way. They score on a wild pitch, and that's great base running and a great send from Dave Hoke. Has to be part of that. I mean, on that play that it's a seeing eye single, a ground ball into center field, Dave Hoke sends Brady Shannon, who scores. Trent Keys takes third base, and Connor Pulaski takes second, and then they both score on, they both move up, beg your pardon, and 1 run scores on the wild pitch. So Keys scores. Pulowski's now at third base, but tying runs 90 feet away, and this inning looked all for naught when the Stompers' first 2 hitters went down over the course of 6 pitches. Hit by pitch, single. It's 3-2, and if a ball gets by Zapata or Akers gets a knock, we could be tied. That one drops in over the inside corner. That's a nice pitch, and the count's 1-2.
Well, and usually you worry about an announcer's jinx, but it felt like as soon as we said 2-out rally, that's exactly what happened on the field. Just putting together good ABs, a hit by pitch, a couple singles, and some good base running, and you're right back in this ballgame.
1-2. Akers has to battle. That one is inside with a fastball at 90. Jovanovic reached back to get that one. It counts 2-2. Colton Boardman on deck, who is swinging a hot bat. He has a hit in 3 of his last 6 trips. 2-2 to Landon Akers. Struck out in the first. Here he strikes out again. That's the same pitch they got him on in the first inning. That breaking ball that just drifted away 4 strikeouts over 2, but the Stompers get 2 back on 2 hits. We head to the third, 3-2 Alameda over Sonoma on the Sonoma Stompers broadcast network. Kieran Costa and Roman Raffelli here on a Thursday evening in Sonoma County, where the home squad trails 3-2 against the Alameda Merchants. And Cy Turner takes a first pitch called strike from Haroon Pelja. The 0-1 misses low. A half swing by Turner. The Memphis Tiger digs in from the left side. The 1-1 is low, 2-1. Jace Jeremiah out of St. John's waits on deck. Did Memphis make the tournament this year? I don't think so. The 2-1 is skied in the air to very shallow left. Sebastiani is the left fielder who goes into a slide and makes the catch. It wasn't an easy play, but it was made by Sebastiani. It went into a slide and reaching well out away from his body made the catch.
And that's that no man's land kind of belt we see across the outfield, just the shallow part where the infield, especially the shortstop, has a chance to go make that play, but the communication's got to be on point, and they're also just typically pretty hard balls to read. But a great play there.
The pitch up above the zone at 86. Jeremiah was hit by a pitch in the helmet. You just have to be happy to see him in the ball game at this point. He's stayed in after a painful RBI. He grounds this one to Boardman, who knocks down an in-between hop, and that one hit the lip. It's going to be an E6, charged to the Stompers shortstop. The second error in as many innings. But that's an Arnold Field infield single if I've ever seen one, and it brings up Chase Dittmer.
And a really tough play there. A ball you got to charge because you don't have a slow runner in the box, but just hits the lip, and it's a tough ball to pick anyways. Not an ideal play for Colton Boardman.
Colton, those put a lot of work in defensively this summer. Out here early with Dave Hoke taking ground balls and Kenny Meimersdorf just about every single day, as that one is outside from Pelja, who hasn't been helped by his defense. He's faced 5 hitters. He's gotten, he's faced 6 hitters. 2 of them have reached on errors. A big swing and a miss by Dittmer. The count's 1-1.
And all of a sudden, the Stompers get 2 back, and it becomes a game with more pressure on the Merchants trying to respond here, get that lead back in control, but not much going against Pelja.
And Pelja picks back to first on a steal attempt, and the pick had to go to second there. It was a great jump by Jeremiah. He left early, but Pelja turned and fired to first instead of wheeling and throwing to second. It's a stolen base off the pitcher, and now there's runners in scoring position with just 1 away. This one's grounded at home plate off the foot of Dittmer, who clearly in pain. The count's 1-2. Phil Jed, he had a sac fly his first time up. Came up, bases loaded, 1 out, and did his job. It was well deep enough to center field.
And that early steal, something we've seen quite a bit of in the last 18 innings or so. Against the Stompers, the pitching staff has been good, but they're not really varying their cadence. They're getting in kind of a routine, and it's becoming clockwork for base runners who can begin to take off early and do some trickier things on the paths to make their jobs a little bit harder.
Time called at home plate before the 1-2. Frank Zapata in the on-deck circle. One-two pitch on the way. Pelja checks second and comes home. Struck him out swinging. But with the breaking ball, challenged him in the zone, and he was way early. That's the second strikeout for Pelja, and that brings up Frank Zapata. Zapata, it can go either way, like the soccer player, spelled the same way.
That was a great pitch there from Pelja. You start an off-speed pitch in on the hands. If it stays there, it's really tough to hit, and if it drops really well into the zone, it's really tough to hit. But it's really easy to swing and miss on.
First pitch is a called strike over the outside corner, went breaker. Frank walked in the first inning. Pelja is gonna whirl towards second base. The Merchants dugout won a balk, but Chase Jeremiah is gonna stay at second base. 0-1 the count on the Alameda backstop. Here it is. That's grounded into left field. Here comes Sebastiani. Mills is going to send him. Here comes the throw. Is cut off by McCann Libby. I think they might have had a play at the plate. Instead, it's an RBI single. And that brings up Noah Smallwood, the 9 batter.
Yeah, and that one just a rocket off the bat through the 5-6 hole. It's a textbook single and a big hit for the Merchants, who were in threat of leaving a runner in scoring position, but instead score him.
Now we'll see if they send the runner. I doubt they will, especially with 2 outs and Smallwood at the plate takes a strike. No, it was a strikeout victim back in the first inning. Pelja, the runner does go. The pitch is called a ball, and the throw down to second. The swipe tag is late. There was a tag on the lower leg from El Harby. Turned and swiped it down. A stolen base, the second of the inning. Accounts 1-1. The pitch is grounded towards the Merchants dugout down the third base line. They've added a run to the cushion. It's now 4-2. One-two coming. Inside and low, 2-2. Base hit to the outfield, you'd assume would score a run. Dan Mills has been very aggressive, sending runners down in that third base coaching box. They've paid off. The first two have scored. 2-2 coming. Pelja trying to limit the damage at just one. The tall right-hander comes set at the belt. Checks second and comes home. Bounced foul down the third base line. The count holds.
And a good battle here, and still some solid pitching from Pelja. Obviously, you wish you had the step off back. The throw to second would then have ended the inning and certainly not scored the run, but doing a good job filling up the zone, getting some ground ball contact, just a couple pitches a little bit too hittable.
2-2. Good stop by Pulowski on a pitch down and away. Holds the runner at second base. Payoff coming from Haroon Pelja to Noah Smallwood. Well, outside, it gets to the screen, and moving up to third base is Zapata, and there's runners at the corners. Back to the top of the order for Ben Ryland, who's walked and flown out. He gets his third at-bat in as many innings. We'll see how aggressive the base running is at first base from Smallwood. I mean, they sent the catcher on an 0-1. Pelja is set. Smallwood's not running, and the pitch is a called strike one, top of the zone.
And Pelja on the mound, you just need to focus on getting the out in front of you. You have two. You got to worry about getting him out, not the guy on third, the guy on first. Just need one.
Yeah, limit the damage here. Strand the runners. That's what Pelja's tasked with, and he's going to check on first base. Ryland, the Oklahoma State Cowboy, did not make an appearance. The 0-1. Low, 1-1. Pelja's pitch count now up to 36. And the Stompers are having to use a lot of bullets here in the early going. Smallwood dancing off first base. And checked on again, and Trent Keys snags it out of the air. I thought that one was heralded from the right field corner, and then everybody's running.
And that's just not a great move there from Pelja, because you're doing exactly what he wants you to do. He's dancing off, trying to get your attention, get you out of your zone, and force you to make an error, which he almost did.
The pitch is popped up. It should be playable. Libby, the third baseman, is out. Boardman, the shortstop, comes over. They collide, and the ball ends up in a glove, which at the end of the day is all that matters. The putout goes P5, and the damage is limited to just one. A couple scary moments, but the road squad gets one. We head to the last of the third with the Merchants leading the Stompers 4-2. You're watching the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. 2, 3, and 4 in the Stomper order, trying to get that run back. It's 4-2, Alameda leads in the ongoing, but a lot of baseball yet to be played. The Stompers have had a knack for the heroics in the early going. The pitch is called the ball. Colton Boardman takes. And sorry if we lost you on audio for a second. We should be good and rolling once again as Sebastiani trades places with Boardman on a 6-4 fielder's choice. A check on him. That one's a closer play, but Harvey Maxey says he's safe at first base. Stompers got the lead-off runner on. The opposite of last inning, which was a two-out rally. They'd love to get that run home. Libby takes a called strike. No balls and one strike. Sebastiani leads off first. Jovanovic pitches to Libby, who swings and misses. He's gone with the off-speed stuff more here in the third, and it's worked. 1-2. He started the inning with six consecutive actually pitches that missed the zone, but turned that 2-0 count into a fielder's choice. Now he's ahead of Libby. No balls and two strikes. The pitch. High with a fastball. 90. He buzzed the tower of McCann Libby, as my old broadcast partner Ryan Bridges used to say. The 1-2 coming is a cold strike 3.
Now batting from Monterey, Peninsula, designated number 40.
Yeah, and if you're McCann Levy there, you probably got to battle that pitch off. You know the zone's been a little bit wider tonight, and that's something you just have to deal with. You're not going to get any credit for disagreeing with the call. You got to put a barrel on that, spoil a pitch, and find yours.
So now it's Paul Lazul's chance with a runner still at first base and now 2 outs. He grounds it foul right to Adam Alharbi, who snags it in the on-deck circle for Sonoma. 4-2-0 for the Merchants, 2-3-2 for the Stompers. Alameda looking for back-to-back wins to open up their CCL season. They started the CCL season last year 1-9. The 0-1 is a called strike at the knees. That's a good pitch. It counts 0-2, and 3 of the last 4 have been fastballs, all at 90.
Yeah, Jovanovic pitching really confidently, pitching, you know, the way he dreams it up coming into the game. It's been a great outing so far.
Sebastiani runs. The pitch is outside. The throw down to second is dropped by the shortstop Jeremiah, and it's a stolen base.
And a heads-up play there. Believe it was an off-speed pitch out of the hand. A good read from Sebastiani, and then he had it beat dropped ball or not.
Yeah, and now if Lazul can find a base knock as he did twice yesterday, the Stompers would have a run.
And big here to get the run you gave up in the top half of the inning back.
The 1-2. Outside 2-2. Deuce is wild again to Paul Lazul. Righty on lefty. Jovanovic comes home and misses outside 3-2. I'm just stealing catchphrases with everybody I've worked with. Michael Bearbold, who was here 2 years ago, loved his Deuce's wild call, and then borrowed Buzz to the Tower from our old friend Ryan Bridges. Payoff now coming to Paul Lazul. Don't worry, Roman. I'll steal one from you come next season. Payoff. Swing and a miss. He was late on a fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. 6/3 for Jovanovic, and maybe I'll learn some phrases to steal as Roman Raffelli takes over on play-by-play when we come back for the top of the 4th on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network.
Back here on the Sonoma Stompers broadcast network, it's the top of the fourth. The Alameda Merchants with a 4-2 lead on 2 hits and no errors get their third inning of Harun Pelja. And a ground ball hit hard into the 3-1 hole. A tough play. Trent Keys gets it to Pelja in time. The ball not grabbed and just a hard hit ball and an awkward play at first.
That's a tough one for the score. I mean, Keys saved a single. It should probably go as an error on Pelja, right? The throw beat him.
A tough play at the plate. It's hard to tell with kind of what transpired there. Pelja's got a lot to.
And I think we're gonna go with a single.
So a single is ruled, and now young Goldberg stands in from the left side. Runner on first and no outs. Another ball hit right at Trent Keys. Chance for 2 here. He's going to take it to 1, step on it, and get the out.
Trent Keys was charged for an error in the second inning, but has made 2 very nice plays on 2 first pitch swings from the Merchants to start the fourth. And I mean, that's a sacrifice in itself. You are set up exactly where you were last inning, runner at second, less than 2 outs, and they've done a great job in driving them in so far.
Now the Merchants have a lead here. Now you can work with that. You can play, some more conservative baseball a little bit here and just go station to station, get your textbook RBIs now with the runner in scoring position. And why not? He's going. This ball hit a mile high into right center field. The runner's going to have to get back to second place. A chance for 2 here. Landon Akers throw in. Nearly beat him. A very close play at second, but it'll be a fly out to center and 2 gone.
We were like a quarter of a step away from a 3-pitch inning.
Very nearly set down in the minimum, but now Cy Turner steps in again from the left side.
Yeah, and you're still in a situation where a base hit tacks on another for Alameda.
And I mentioned you can play some more conservative baseball if you're Alameda here, but you cannot get too laid back and content with the lead because plays like right there, they're going to pick down, and once again nearly a 3-pitch inning, but not there. A solid move from Pelja. Bollinger dances off second. The pitch in for a strike. A nice off-speed pitch going towards that back foot. Puts Pelja ahead in the count 0-1.
You have to be taking all the way there, right? You can't swing at 4 consecutive pitches.
Bollinger about 10 feet off the bag and a few back as well. Boardman going to shadow as the second pitch misses out for a ball.
I think trying to pound that outer third is probably the right thing to do if you're a Sonoma pitcher the rest of this evening.
And it's tough here because you have this shortstop pulled up the middle. It makes that 5-6 hole even bigger. That one, very similar spot, but closer to the dish. A pitch we've seen called for a strike multiple times tonight. Not called there, so now 2-1 to Turner. Turner walked in the first and was left on third base, and he flew out to left. A great play from Nick Sebastiani.
If Zach Pace was still in this game, might have got ejected again over that ball.
And that ball hits him there on the right shin, so it'll be a dead ball. The runner will be forced to go back to second, and now first and second with 2 outs.
You want to see if a little manager by committee in the Stompers dugout's going to get someone up and loosening down that line.
So it's the first hit by pitch for Pelja, the second for the Stompers staff, and it brings up Jace Jeremiah, who was the first batter after the chaos that ensued in the first. He's got runners on second and first. He'll watch a fastball low for ball number 1. Jeremiah has reached twice, but neither a hit by pitch, and an error on Colton Boardman. This one hit over to Boardman. He's going to field this one, throw to second for the quick out, and runners on. Damage avoided for Haroon Pelja. Will head to the bottom half. The Stompers looking to answer here on the Stompers Broadcast Network. We're back for the bottom of the fourth, and if you're scoring along and notice the trends, the Stompers scored every other inning so far, looking to continue that here in the bottom of the fourth. It's Adam Al-Harbi swinging and missing on a fastball for strike one to start the fourth. Brady Shannon on deck. He was hit by a pitch and scored the first run for the Stompers, and Trent Keys in the hole. He singled and scored the second. This one chopped into the 5-6 hole. A tough play here. Thrown across in time from Dittmer for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, that was a clean defensive play. We can see those resultant hits. Sometimes that could have hit the lip, kicked over his head. But I mean, it feels like all the bounces are going Alameda's way, and all the ejections are going Sonoma's way. If you're just joining us, Zach Pace was ejected on the top of the first inning, and I think Casey Gilroy is now officially the acting manager, but has a lot of help in that first base dugout.
So it's Shannon still looking for his first Stomper hit. Played in his first game last night, went 0 for 4 and is 0 for 1 tonight. Excuse me, hit by a pitch, 0 for 0 on the night with a run scored and his way around the bases. The 0-1. Not squeezed, but called a strike off the outside corner. A fastball clocks at 90, and Shannon gonna have a few choice words and then calls time. Gonna reset himself before stepping back in. Now the 0-2 to Shannon. Swung on and missed. A quick 3 for Brady Shannon. It's the 7th strikeout for Kai Jovanovic, and now Trent Keys up to delay a very quick 1-2-3 bottom of the fourth for the home team. Keys had the first hit of the contest for the Stomps. He'll take a ball low and outside for the first pitch of his second at bat. The 1-0, very similar spot, now 2-0. Keys from the left. Jovanovic from the right. The 2-0 swung on and missed. Low, now 2-1.
Yeah, Coach Mayo, the Stompers hitting coach, talks a lot about the 2-0 approach. He wants to almost approach it as 3-0. You have to be hunting your pitch if you're going to swing 2-0, and I don't think that was Trent's.
An off-speed pitch that started low and ended lower. The 2-1 in there for a strike, now 2-2. And that's exactly the issue when you swing at a pitch like he did 2-0. You give him the leverage back, and then you take a fastball. Now 2-2, you're one pitch away versus what could have been a 3-0 count. The 2-2 misses high, now full. Counts full. The delivery swung on and missed, and a fist pump on his 8th K of the game. Kai Jovanovic threw 4 with a 2-run lead, 4-2 in favor of the Merchants here at Arnold. Back for the top of the 5th, it's Harun Pelja continuing his outing, and Pelja got some run at Youngstown State. He had 2 starts, along with some relief outings. That one hit hard foul down the left field line. It's Chase Dittmar now in the game. Pelja pitched 29 1/3 innings, 2 starts, and 17 appearances total, so he was more used as a short guy. Opened up a couple games, but not a lot of lengthy appearances like the one we have this evening. That one hit hard down the left field line again, but once again looping foul and bouncing into the Merchants bullpen. Now quickly ahead 0-2 is Pelja.
Yeah, he's been out ahead of both these first 2 pitches, pulling them hard foul down the line. It's 0-2, but as we climb near pitch number 50, it's Jackson Rowland up and throwing in the Stomper bullpen.
The 0-2 chopped softly over to Boardman, throwing across in time to get Dittmar for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, that was well done by Colton Boardman. He charged quickly, got the hop he wanted, and made a nice cross-the-body throw in time.
Now batting number 14,
That'll bring up
Frank
catcher Frank Zapata, who's walked and singled in today's game. Standing in from the right side. Pelja comes set at the belt. First pitch bounced in there, fastball low.
Sonoma Stompers meet me over at the left field foul pole right now.
The 1-0 chopped foul off of Zapata, now 1-1.
Yeah, you wonder how many bullets Pelja can go. He's had almost a full week, has had a full week of rest, but he's thrown over 50 pitches now.
Pelja set the 1-1 with one out. A great off-speed pitch loops it in there, and now ahead 1-2. The 1-2, another off-speed, but missed low. Evens count at 2-2.
Yeah, Pelja probably knows he's getting near the end of his leash. You need to get a couple quick outs and get your bats up in the bottom of the fifth and save a mid-inning pitching change.
The 2-2 misses inside with the fastball. We'll have a full count here between Pelja and Zapata. Pelja set. The full count delivery, swung on and missed. And the second out of the inning is quickly retired. Harun Pelja with his third of the game. And that'll bring up Noah Smallwood playing second base with a strikeout and a walk so far tonight. He struck out to end a long first inning for the Merchants, and he's going to hit this one high into right field. Shannon with a beat and the catch. A quick inning of work for Harun Pelja. Looking to get the bats back out there and get a lead tonight at Arnold. We'll head to the sixth here on the Stompers Broadcast Network. It's the bottom of the bottom of the fifth here on the Stompers Broadcast Network. Roman Raffelli and Kieran Costa on the call. You can catch us nearly every night in Sonoma. Connor Pulowski at the dish, watches ball one in the dirt.
Stompers hit the road for the first time Saturday. That's the middle of the 3-game set against the San Francisco Seagulls. You can catch the call on Mixler.
Great plug there from Kieran Costa. Now 2-0 to Connor Pulowski.
A classic home, away, and home 3-game series between the two squads this weekend.
That one in there for a strike. Now 2-1 to Connor Pulowski. This one popped up, stays, just exits play. And now 2-2 to Pulowski.
Yeah, Connor's got to flip the lineup here. You go 9 and then 1-2 after that. Akers and Boardman waiting. I mean, Landon struggled to see the ball off of Jovanovic, but we'd love an at-bat with a runner in scoring position or at just anybody on base at this point.
The 2-2. Fouled off again. Pulowski has put together some great ABs in recent games. Fouled off some good pitches, put up a good fight. Gonna look to do the same here with the Stompers down 4-2.
Jovanovic over the 70 pitch mark.
This one swung on and missed. Strike 3. Said foul tip, and Pulowski confused at the call or something, but it's the 9th strikeout for Jovanovic.
Well, he foul tipped it and it was in and out of the glove of the catcher. I think the home plate umpire Andrew Bernice said it did not even graze the bat of Connor Pulowski.
Whatever the call, brings up Landon Akers for his 3rd at-bat of the game. Pair of strikeouts and a big swing and miss there. The 0-1, high and in, now 1-1.
Yeah, Akers fooled on 2-strike breaking balls, dying down and away. He's gone down swinging his first 2 at-bats. Let's see if he makes adjustment his 3rd crack at Jovanovic.
Hunts a fastball there and loops it into shallow right field over the head of Smallwood, and it's a 1-out single from the leadoff. Landon Akers is aboard.
Now batting from CSU Northridge, shortstop number 3, Colton.
It's a line drive in the scorebook.
And to bring up Colton Boardman, who's been aboard twice, a single in the 1st and a walk in the 3rd. A consistent piece of offense for the Stompers in nearly every game he's played, especially tonight. Gonna hit the first pitch he sees, foul off the 3rd base side.
I wonder what the interest level here is in sending Akers 16 swipes at Bellarmine. Very small lead off of first base.
And he's going to extend it after the pitcher glances. This one, again, fouled off the 3rd base line. Jovanovic has been quick to the plate pretty much all night, even on the off-speed stuff. He's given his catcher a chance when there's been runners in motion, but not really an ideal steal situation here. Perhaps a hit and run, but we'll just have to wait and see. The 0-2 to Boardman, hit in play softly. They're going to go to second for 1 and no throw across. It'll be a 4-6 fielder's choice and now 2 outs.
Yeah, but all Colton Boardman has done is run, and I wonder if you try and get him into scoring position for Nick Sebastiani.
Sebastiani, a backwards K and a 6-4 fielder's choice, and then swiped a bag in the third. Outfielder's choice put out Boardman, who now stands on first. The Stompers out-hit the Merchants so far in this one 4-3, but find themselves down 4-2. Sebastiani takes a first pitch strike.
The action stopped in the Merchants bullpen. It might be how many bullets does my starter have kind of a day for TC Fairfield.
That one misses low and out, and when Kai Jovanovic has 9 strikeouts and has only given up 2 runs on 4 hits, you have the wiggle room to let him go deep into this one, save the bullpen, especially after playing your first game last night. The 1-1 swung on and missed, now 1-2 to Nick Sebastiani. McCann Libby stands on deck, had a home run last night. The 1-2. Called strike 3. Sebastiani knew it, and he'll see the second backwards K of his night. It's the 10th for the pitcher. Kai Jovanovic will head to the 6th. 4-2 here in Sonoma.
The name
We're
of the
back
song will also work.
in Sonoma
What's your name?
with the top of the 6th, and Harun Pelja's night is done. He went 4 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 run that was not earned. He hit a batter, walked a batter, and struck out 3, but the new arm on the mound is Jackson Rowland for the Stompers.
Yeah, Rowland redshirted his freshman season at Modesto Junior College, didn't make an appearance there. He's had 1 outing for Sonoma. In 2 innings pitched, he gave up 1 hit and 1 hit batsman. He struck out 3. Would love to throw up a couple zeros. I mean, this game, first of all, feels like it's the 8th inning. We've been playing forever, and it also feels a little... I feel like it's a 2-run game. The Stompers are well in striking distance. A bloop and a blast if you can hold it at 2.
We will cross the second hour of play in this inning as Rowland's first pitch in there for a confident strike, something we haven't seen a ton of from Stompers pitching so far tonight. The 0-1 bounces it low, now 1-1. Now 1-1 And this one hit sharply into shallow right field for a leadoff single off the bat of Ben Ryland. And that'll bring up our player to watch, who's 1 for 3 on the night, Jack Bollinger, playing center field for the Merchants.
Tough guy to double up, but double play would really do some good for Sonoma.
First pitch fouled back. It'll be 0-1 to Bollinger, and Roland coming in, working quickly, but needs to make sure and pause between pitches. It looks pretty quick there. Comes set at the belt, takes a peek and deals. Catches the outside corner with an off-speed pitch. Now 0-2 to Jack Bollinger. Roland set. The 0-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 to Bollinger, and that's a big out for the home squad.
Now you want the double play against a guy that's bounced around the CCL, played in Menlo Park last year.
Yeah, that man is Hayden Young. Goldberg walked in the first and scored, reached on an error in the second, and then grounded out to Trent Keys at first. Can hit the first pitch he sees, fouled on the left field line. There is movement in the Merchant pen. It might be the end of the line for Kai Jovanovic. The 0-1, a fake steal. Pulowski pops up and eats it, gives it back to Roland, now 1-1. The 1-1, swung on and missed. A great off-speed pitch there. Now 1-2. Roland looking for his second strikeout in as many batters. The 1-2 misses high and out. Evens count at 2-2. Roland would love a strikeout here, but a double play would be even better. He's going to pick to first and nearly over the head of Trent Keys, but a nice save by the first baseman. The 2-2 swung on and missed. Gave that one a weak one-handed wave, and now 2 gone in the inning.
Now batting first baseman number 22, Angelo Luna.
That'll bring up Angelo Luna, the first baseman for the Merchants. Roland looking to strike out the side in his first inning of work, and a pick to first, and a good move over, checking on the leadoff Ryland. Misses outside there. Another right on left matchup. Wouldn't be able to walk himself out of this one, and with another lefty in the on deck circle for Alameda. Now comes set. Does not give a look in the 1-0. Misses high, now 2-0. Now 2-0 to Angelo Luna. Swings and misses at an off-speed pitch. Just rolled it off the table there. Now 2-1. Roland comes set The 2-1 runner goes. Pulowski made the throw, or wanted to make the throw, but no one was home. Gonna be a free 90 given up. And with the fastball high and out, it looked like a pitch out might have been called or just a conveniently timed pitch, but the throw could not be made. Now 3-1 to Angelo Luna. Hit right back up the middle of Roland. It's going to bounce off his leg and be 90 feet for the hitter. Will get time for the pitcher.
That one might have saved a run. A lot of those, I think, the second baseman gets. That one, I think, was heralded for center field, and Jackson Rowland's right calf might have just kept this a 2-run ball game.
Well, and he tells Coach Mayo to get back to the bullpen. All good here. He's going to tell Dean Poteet to head back to his station, and now runners on the corners with 2 outs. It's Cy Turner at the dish. He's been aboard twice via the walk and the hit by pitch. He swings and misses it. Pitch number 1 there. The 0-1 misses off the outside corner. Now 1-1.
I said I was going to stop talking about the umpiring crew. That's been given all night. Like, we have the data next to us. It's consistently given off the corner.
Gets it back and picks down to first in time, and a runner just caught in a daze. Angelo Luna gets aboard on a single up the middle, but thrown down by Pulowski at first base. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th here on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. Back here on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network, Roman Raffelli and Kieran Costa. We have a pitching change for the visiting Merchants.
Yeah, it's going to be David Andrews coming into the game. Face the Stompers are happy it's any face that's not Kai Jovanovic, who went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and 10 Ks. No, 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch, beg your pardon.
A dominant start, looking to get the Merchants their second win in as many games. Now McCann Libby in a 1-1 count. This one hit towards the second baseman. An easy 4-3 put out. McCann Libby goes down for the third time tonight. David Andrews is the new arm. The one non-California man on the lineup, on the roster for the Merchants, finds himself from Bentonville, Arkansas. And in the 2025 spring, played in 6 games, 2 2/3 innings, gave up 11 earned runs. Not ideal there, looking to work on some things. The southpaw will face Esteban Sepulveda, a pinch hitter for the Stompers. Takes a ball low in place of Paul Lazul, the DH, who started his night with 2 Ks.
Bats need to get going here. Work to do.
That pitch misses. Now 2-0.
Get ahead, stay ahead. That's the motto on both sides of the ball, and they haven't done a bad job of getting ahead against Jovanovic for the first 5.
And a good frame and a good pitch there. 2-1 now to Sepulveda.
Stompers got those 2 runs in the second inning. The bats have been quiet since.
That one misses low. Now 3-1.
Jovanovic gave up just 2 free passes in his 5 innings. Sepulveda's 1 pitch away from working one against Andrews.
And he will. It's a 1-out walk for the pinch hitter, and Stompers looking for a spark. That may just be it. That'll bring up Adam Al-Harby for the Stompers. He's got a pair of ground balls to start his night. The right on left matchup for Al-Harby. Takes a fastball high for pitch number 1.
For the Merchants, David Andrews.
The 1-0 misses out. Now 2-0.
Charlie Moulton taking swings in the on-deck circle for Brady Shannon, who looks like he won't get a chance for his first Stomper hit.
Now the 2-1 high in the zone, but in for a strike. Now 2-1 to Al-Harby, who needs to hunt here and avoid a 2-2 count. Pitch misses outside, and a pretty frequent miss we're seeing so far here for David Andrews, just not coming all the way through the zone, leaving him outside.
Gotta be yours here on 3-1.
3-1, a move over, and what was an interesting move. Sepulveda not one to steal and was merely a step or 2 off of first base.
Stretching already up in the Merchants bullpen. It's early in the season, but this is one that you want.
The 3-1 misses, and now a free pass for Adam Al-Harby.
This is a Stomper rally. A couple of walks, maybe a pass ball moves them over. They love to do that, and TC Fairfield, who's the manager and the pitching coach, is gonna come out and meet with his pitcher Andrews, who's really struggled with the command. He walked Sepulveda on 5 pitches. He walked Al-Harby on 5 pitches. And that brings up Charlie Moulton, who was a starter in yesterday's contest, went 0 for 4.
Moulton going to look to do some damage here off of the bench. So the mound visit is over here. It'll be Malton to face Andrews.
Do we have a trainer to the stands? A trainer to the stands, please.
And a brief pause into the stands here will resume play. The first pitch to Malton. Misses low, now 1-0 for the third batter. The 1-0 misses in a threatened back pick, made the zone for a strike, now 1-1. Runners on first and second in Andrews' first inning of work. The 1-1. Hit foul down the third base line. Malton ahead, now behind 1-2.
Yeah, this is a big at-bat if you're Sonoma. You've gotten runners on. You've gotten that runner into scoring position. Your first runner in scoring position is all the way back in the third inning. You go to Malton. That's the button you decide to press as the coaching staff. You need to have him deliver here.
The 1-2 misses out and low, evens the count at 2 apiece. A big moment here for the Stompers, down 2 with the go-ahead run with the bat in his hands. Southpaw Andrews comes set at the numbers and deals. This one chopped into the 3-4 hole. A tough play for 2. He's just going to go 1 and moves the runners up. But now with 2 outs, you need a base hit from Trent Keys.
Base hit or a pass ball, Roman. Don't forget what game we're watching. It is the Sonoma Stompers and their trademark score on a wild pitch. But I think the Trent Keys line drive to the outfield would do nicely right about now, just like he did in his first at-bat.
He had a line drive single in that second inning. He struck out in the 4th. The left-on-left matchup. Andrews has been wanting, and he gets a swing and miss from Keys to start the at-bat. Now 0-1 to Keys. Runners on second and third. The pitch misses out and low. Evens the count at 1-1. The 1-1 hit high and foul over the third base dugout. Now 1-2. Trent Keys needs a quality at bat here. The 1-2 hit softly off the end of the bat, going to be thrown across in time to get Keys by Ditmar. It'll be a 5-3 put out to end the Stomper threat in the bottom of the 6th. We'll head to the 7th, and Kieran Costa will take back over for the final 3.
Cy Turner, Jace Jeremiah, and Chase Dittmer will be the 3 to hit against Jackson Rowland out for his second inning of work. We have some defensive changes, which I'll tell you after a first pitch misses down and out, 1-0. Charlie Moulton, who came into the game to pinch hit for Brady Shannon's in left field. Nick Sebastiani moves left to right. And that one is low, 2-0 from Rowland, who gave up a couple singles last inning, but was picked up by his catcher Connor Pulowski on a back pick to first base. And he finds the outside edge. It counts 2-1. Stompers burning through that bench. The 2-1 is hit hard but foul down the third base line. I talked to Zach Pace before the game. He says he'd like to use Hirdian Hahn as a pitcher today if a situation arises, but if you're joined us late or joined us any time after the first 6 hitters of the ball game, Zach Pace was ejected by home plate umpire Andrew Bernice. As that slider looked to come back and find the corner, it didn't. Filler up, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And Rowland tried to steal a strike on the outside corner there. A frequent call of the night, but not given.
Payoff. And the battle is won by Jackson Rowland. That's his 3rd strikeout. And that brings up Jace Jeremiah, who's been hit by a pitch, reached on an error, stolen a base, and grounded into a fielder's choice. Stompers still trail this one 4-2 as we play on into inning number 7. The pitch is inside, and it hit him for a second time today. More base runners against Rowland, and Jeremiah's a guy who we've seen run. The Merchants have been very aggressive on the base paths. He has one of the swipes.
And Rowland going to need to make sure to vary his cadence here and especially just take looks. Be hard to predict here because Jeremiah have been really good at taking off early and just knowing the timing of the pitcher.
Fastball out at 84. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Jeremiah leads off first. Not running, and Dittmer is fooled on a breaking ball that drops into the dirt. That counts 1-1. 1-1, a check on first. A nice move by Rowland, but the tag not even applied by Trent Keys. Jeremiah was back safely. And that brings up Frank Zapata, who is in the on-deck circle, beg your pardon. Chase Dittmer takes a called ball that counts 2-1. He swings here and pops it up. It might be playable down the right field line. Sebastiani and Keys come together. It's Sebastiani who makes the catch, and Jeremiah bluffed but will hold. It's a nice running play by Sebastiani. He made a sliding catch in left field, moved over to right field. He cut into foul territory to squeeze this one, and there's 2 away in the visiting 7.
And I don't have the exact numbers, but I'm guessing he has recorded the 2 furthest outs from each other of any Stomper this season.
You'd have to think so. As a pick back's a close one. Jeremiah is safe at first base. Thanks for joining us on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. I'm Kieran Costa, joined by Roman Raffelli, and Rowland pitches it hit hard but foul the opposite way. A nice fastball down at the bottom of the zone. The Merchants scored 3 in the first inning. The Stompers answered with 2 in the second, and Alameda's tossed on an insurance run since. They lead it 4-2, and the 0-1 pitch makes it 0-2 as that one spins in there at 76. No action in either bullpen. You'd think that David Andrews will come back out for Alameda. Rowland pitches a cold strike 3. And the inning is over. That's 4 strikeouts now for Jackson Rowland. It's time to stretch in Sonoma. The Stompers in a battle. They trail the Merchants 4-2 on the Sonoma Stompers broadcast network. Stompers will go 9-1-2 in hopes of sparking a rally. They trail the visiting Merchants 4 runs to 2. And Pulowski takes low and outside for ball 1. 2 walks for David Andrews in his first inning of work. The Stompers left both of those base runners aboard. Pulowski takes low, 82. And the count's 2-0. Andrews, sidewinding lefty out of Bentonsville, Arkansas, a long way from home. He delivers a called strike 1, good pitch at the bottom of the zone. Landon Akers waits on deck. The 2-1, low, 3-1. Stompers need a leadoff runner aboard. They have had that only once in their first 6 innings. 3-1. Pulaski swings and misses through a fastball at 83. I mean, that's probably your 3-1 hot zone. It was a fastball, maybe a little bit far off the corner, but you get your arms extended. He was right on it. He tipped it straight into the glove. Now we get a payoff from Andrews, and it's low ball 4.
Yeah, and going back to that 3-1 pitch, that's a very hittable pitch. It's kind of what you're looking for. The problem is he tried to pull it rather than take it where it's pitched to right field, and he just got under it.
But it's all okay because he reaches base on the very next pitch via a walk. And now it's the top of the order with the runners on base. Landon Akers struck out twice and singled. That was against the starter, Jovanovic. He squares the bunt here and puts down a beauty up the third baseline. Dittmer charges. His throw to first is late. And Zach Pace, wherever he's watching this baseball game from, I bet you just stood up and cheered because that's what he wants to do every single time. That was a perfect bunt.
And perfect Sonoma baseball. You work an at-bat, you get on base. That's a quality at-bat right there. And then your leadoff man, Landon Akers, who's got some of the fastest legs on this team, puts down a textbook bunt down the third base line. They weren't ready for it. Stopped in that Arnold thick field infield. And now you got 2 on with no outs.
Boardman squares the bunt as well. He pulls it back and takes low ball 1. Dittmer a little more ready this time. He's in on the lip of the grass at third base, as is Angelo Luna at first. Middle infield plays for two. The second baseman, Smallwood, one step over towards first. The pitch, Boardman pulls back another bunt. It's 2-0. He singled, walked, and stole two bases.
And the bunting situation here kind of takes away the left-on-left advantage for the pitcher if Boardman's just going to give himself up.
Squares and gets it down. It's another beauty. Dittmer has another chance. His throw is in time to get him. And the Arnold Field crowd can't believe it. And Paul Maidoreno's coming out of the dugout to talk to the first base umpire. And that is a brutal call at first base. Colton Boardman was flying up the line. It looked like he beat it. The throw was low. We don't have a replay system, but goodness, from our vantage point, did it look like he was safe. And not exactly a banner day from the umpiring crew here at Arnold Field.
But single or not, you move the runners up. You now have runners in scoring position.
Time was called because the umpires were out of position, so they'll get to where they need to be, and we will await a 0-1 pitch. The Stompers, however the calls may go, have the tying run out at second base. Sebastiani takes inside and low 1-1. So, I mean, you can talk about the umpiring all night long, but Zach Pace will tell you, let's go. Everyone in that dugout will tell you, no, let's just go tie this ball game up. The 1-1 to Sebastiani is outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And
so the Stompers have runners at second and third. The pitch is low to Sebastiani, and with first base open, I don't know if you groove one here.
it's a tough spot to be in because, I mean, Sebastiani, a great hitter in this lineup. He's 0 for 2 with the fielder's choice on the night, and you have the left on right, but it doesn't get any better because you're left on right with McCain Libby, who's on deck. It's a gamble either way here, but it's tough to call.
The Stomper fans still here, urging their team to get back into this ball game. The 3-1 pitch, Andrews to Sebastiani, is popped up on the infield. Chase Dittmer makes the catch, and that's a huge out recorded by David Andrews, and now you need a knock from McCann Libby.
And Libby 0 for 3 on the night. He is due. He has put together some good ABs in recent games, but if you're Nick Sebastiani there, that's not the swing you want to put on the baseball, especially with runners on second and third.
Libby takes a called strike 1. An 0-1 coming. Libby grounds it foul down the third base line. And now McCann Libby's down. No balls and 2 strikes in that bat, where he'll probably tell you it should be 1-1. And an automated strike zone that's on the way would tell you it should be 1-1 as well. The 0-2 to Libby is off the corner, 1-2. One-two coming to Libby. He strikes out swinging, and David Andrews escapes the jam. The Stompers get to a board, but can't scratch any across. We head to the 8th in what's still a 4-2 ball game on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. We head to the top of the 8th. There's a new pitcher for Sonoma. It's Jason Olvera, who pitched on opening day in that walkathon of a 9th inning. And we'll pull up those numbers in just a moment. He relieves Jackson Rowland, who pitched 2 shutout innings with a couple singles, a hit by pitch, and 4 strikeouts. Olvera's first one to Smallwood is fouled back to the screen, 0-1.
Yeah, Olvera at Los Medanos had a 3.65 ERA in 12 1/3 innings of work. Struck out 13, but walked 12.
Here comes the 0-1. Skips to the screen, 1-1. He walked 3 in that 9th inning. Was brought into a tough bases loaded spot, to his credit. He has a very high set and pitches. That's grounded weakly to the left side. The third baseman gloves and throws him out at first. Stompers will have another chance. They've really gotten the base runners. They've left 2 in the 6th and 2 in the 7th. And Olvera's hoping it's just a 2-run game.
That's a tough play on a really soft hit ground ball, pretty much at the shortstop, but a nice play made on the left side.
That brings up the lefty Ryland for the 5th time. And he takes outside the balls and 1 strike. Walked and scored, flew out, popped out, singled, and swiped a bag. So a busy day on the bases for Ryland, who was the walk-off hero yesterday. The 1-0 from Olvera is lined to first. Trent Keys makes a nice catch. And there's very quickly 2 outs, and this would be a nice quick inning. Get the bats rolling in the last of the 8th, maybe.
And if you threaten in the bottom of the 7th, you can't scratch anything across, and you want to get them out there as soon as possible. They're still seeing it well, but a heck of a play there from Trent Keys. That's a play you have to be assertive on. If you hesitate, it's going to eat you up right at the feet. But takes a couple steps in and makes the grab.
Olvera delivers, and it's a called strike 1 over the inside corner to Jack Bollinger, who flew out, struck out, singled, and struck out again. 1 for 4 on the day. It's been a up and down affair here in Sonoma. The 0-1 pitch is fouled back to the screen. The first inning was the most eventful one. 9 Merchants came to the plate. 5 of them walked, and manager Zach Pace was ejected before the Stompers even had their first at-bat. But the Bats have had their opportunities since then. They had first and second, less than 2 outs the last 2 innings, and are still waiting for that big hit. And time is called by Bollinger. Jason Olvera was taking too long. I don't know if now you've cruised through the first 2.5 hitters. Why play with the motion now? Just whatever you can to get the hitter off balance. The 0-2 coming from Olvera to Bollinger. Here it is. Struck him out looking. Called strike 3 over the inner third end. A much better second outing for Olvera than the first one. 1, 2, 3, go the Merchants. Here come the Stompers. The Bats need to wake up. They trail it 4-2 on the Sonoma Stompers broadcast network. Zane Bolts will be the new pitcher for the 8th inning, and we'll tell you all about him after Roman Raffelli closes the book on David Andrews.
Yeah, not an ideal outing for Andrews, but he didn't end up giving up a run. He pitched 2 innings, a hit, and walked 3, which was cause for concern at times, but he got himself out of it every time. He also struck out a batter, but now hands it over to Zane Bolts.
Bolts ready to deliver his first pitch to Sepulveda, who fouls it straight back to the screen. At Los Medanos College, he just wrapped up his junior year. In 13 games, 13 innings, no earned runs, 16 strikeouts to 8 walks. Stompers would like to throw up a couple earned runs on his summer score line. The pitch, Sepulveda fouls it off, 0-2. And this one just, no matter how it turns out, sort of just has to go as a mulligan. I don't really know what's happened here at Arnold Field tonight. I'm struggling to find the words to sum up, especially that first inning. A hitch in the motion doesn't work. It misses high. 91, though, on the gun. The 1-2. Sepulveda checks on a pitch low and away. A good battle, 2-2. Stompers got a walk, a bunt single, 2 on, nobody out in the 7th inning. A sacrifice bunt that was called out at first base. Sepulveda bounces this one to shortstop. Jeremiah kicks it, and it's an E6.
Yeah, just kind of a bad play by the shortstop. I mean, it wasn't hit terribly hard, didn't really take a weird hop, wasn't hit in the wrong spot, just not a great play.
Yeah, he seemed a little too nonchalant about it. He tried to glove flip it to his hand and throw. Sepulveda would have been out by a couple steps, I think, if he'd set and transferred. Either way, the Stompers have a runner on. We'll see if Al-Harbi bunts. He doesn't, and takes a ball. I think outside. 1 ball and no strikes. That one is in there at 86, and the count's 1-1. Similar spot to the first one from what I saw.
That's good use of your eyes, Kieran.
1-1. Swing and miss. Al-Harbi fooled badly. 2-1.
And that's a great pitch when you start with the count, 2 fastballs down the middle, and then you start an off-speed pitch down the middle and work it out. It's really tough to pick up and tough not to swing it.
Bottom of the 8th. Pitch is bounced weakly to the pitcher, who will take it to first base himself. So it goes as what would have been a sacrifice bunt. Sepulveda into scoring position. The Stompers have had guys there, but struggled mightily to get him in.
Now batting number 29, Charlie Malton.
That brings up Charlie Moulton for his second trip. He grounded out to the second baseman his first time up. That did move runners over. The first one to Moulton is a called strike. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike coming to Charlie Moulton, and a meeting at the mound will be called by the new catcher, Winchell. He'll walk his pitcher back up the hill. Sepulveda reached on an E6. He moved to second on a high chop by Al-Harbi. Stompers have a runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs. We'll recap you one more time. The Merchants got 3 in the first inning where Zach Pace was ejected. The Stompers got 2 back in the second. The Merchants answered it in the third to make it 4-2, and nothing but zeros for everybody since that third inning. The pitch is a high chopper towards third. Dittmer waits and throws in time to get Moulton. Now heading to third and taking the base is Sepulveda. Some heads-up base running there by Esteban to take third, and that is going to bring up Gideon Hahn to pinch hit for Trent Keys.
And a great play there on the base pass from Sepulveda. He got about halfway with his secondary, saw where it was hit, so he backed up a couple steps, and then as soon as the ball came out of Dittmer's hands, he went and took third base.
And there was almost a situation where that ball kicked through. First pitch coming is a cold strike to Hahn, who's coming off the bench. Coach Mayo, the hitting coach, is making the managerial moves today. He went 0 for 3 with the successful sacrifice in yesterday's game. He takes low, 1-1. One ball and 1 strike. The pitch is in there for a cold strike 2. Right on left. The pitch. Hahn fouls it back to the screen. That's what you're supposed to do. Battle till you get yours. From Zane Bolts. Right on left. The Stompers have used just about every player they have on that bench, as that one misses outside. 2-2.
And he tried to go back to an off-speed pitch, but just kind of slipped out of the hand, released it a little far back in his motion, and it stayed outside.
2-2-2 is outside, and the count runs full 3-2. Connor Pulowski, who's reached twice, is on deck. And you wonder who's going to play first base in the bottom of this inning, with Paul Lazul and Trent Keys both burned. 3-2, Hahn takes low, it kicks away from the catcher, and here comes the run. The Stompers are within 1 in the last of the 8th. And Therian Hahn's not going to get an RBI, but he was down in that count 1-2. He battled back, fouled off a couple pitches, and there was the miss from Bolts on ball 4. 1-run ball game, and the go-ahead run at the plate in the form of Connor Pulowski.
And just a great job of having a great approach, staying calm at the plate. Gideon Hahn didn't seem to agree with either of the strike calls early in that count, but choked up a little bit on the bat, shortened his stance, and then just stayed confident in his abilities. He spoiled a couple, watched a few, and then scores a run and gets on first base.
Connor Pulowski, the 9-hitter in the Stomper lineup, 1 for 2. He's also walked. A slide step delivery, high and tight, 1-0. Hahn, I don't know if you're risking out on the bases here, but anything that gets away from Winchell, you could see Hahn on the move. That one's low. Nice block by the second catcher into the game today for Alameda.
That's a good squeeze there and a big squeeze there, because you give up second base this early in the count. You still leave room to potentially even give up third base with how Baltz has been pitching.
The 2-0. Pulaski swings and misses. It was in the zone. It was a fastball. Maybe that's what you're hunting, but he comes up empty. And the count's 2-1. Merchants 4, Stompers 3. The pitch, swing, and fouled into the glove of the catcher. The count's now 2-2.
And if Pulowski's going to get another pitch on the outside third, which more than likely he will, it's been where most of his stuff has been, he's going to need to take it the other way, close your hips, let it travel, and stop trying to pull it, because when you're pulling it, you're missing most of your barrel and not just taking it the other way.
2-2. Pulowski takes low outside, filler up, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Landon Akers, maybe the most dangerous guy in the lineup, is on deck. Hahn running on the payoff with 2 away. Pulowski fouls it back to the screen, will do it again. He won that one back. He saw him jump into the air and now steps out to take a deep breath. Got to get it to Landon Akers here on the 8th with that guy in scoring position.
And it's a barrel side fastball that you just dream of shooting into the right center gap over to that scoreboard, but just under it.
Another payoff. Pulowski strikes out swinging on a high fastball, but in Sonoma fashion, the Stompers get a run without a hit. We head to the 9th inning. Jason Olvera tries to keep the deficit at just 1. 4-3 here on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. Nick Polis, the new pitcher for Sonoma in the 9th. He did not play at Modesto JC last season, his freshman season. 6'3", 220 pounds from Modesto, and he has to keep this a 1-run game against the heart of the lineup, Hayden Young-Goldberg, Angela Luna, and Cy Turner. Stompers at the top of their order coming up in the 9th. Just how much of a rally will they need? The pitch swung on and missed. High fastball at 87.
Yeah, just
Jason Olvera, 1 inning of work. He struck out 1 in an easy 1-2-3 frame.
yeah, the 3 batters he's set to face, just 2 hits on the night between them, but they found ways to get on base, a couple walks, and a hit by pitch as well.
The 0-1 from Polis, low, and it's 1-1. This is his 2nd outing on the summer for Sonoma. 1 inning. He gave a hit, 3 walks, and 3 Ks, 2 earned runs. The 1-1. Outside, 2-1. Stompers trail this one 4-3, top of the 9th. The 3rd league contest of the year for the Stomps. The pitch is foul back to the screen. And the count's back to level 2-2. Goldberg's walked, reached on an error, grounded out, and struck out. The Stompers using pitcher number 5. The pitching hasn't been bad. Leon gave up 3 earned in the first, and the bullpen's been great since. Just 1 unearned run. 2-2. Low. 3-2. You really just don't want to give up base runners here. Bullpen's really shut it down. They've thrown up 5 consecutive zeros and given the offense a chance. The payoff is low ball 4. Young Goldberg, who represents a much-needed insurance run for the Merchants, is at first base with nobody out for Angelo Luna.
Now batting number 22, Angelo Luna.
Young Goldberg, a 2-step lead off first. He runs. The pitch swung on a miss, but throw down to second. The tag is in time to get him. Dean Poteet thought about it for what seemed like an eternity, but he calls him out. That runner is quickly erased, and a sigh of relief for the Sonoma fans and an interesting send, especially first pitch with nobody out.
And then it looks like they put on a hit and run trying to get him quickly into scoring position, but a great throw from Pulowski.
And now this inning's turned on its head. It's 0-2 to Angelo Luna. That was 89 miles an hour, but had some life to it. Luna, a couple of singles, a couple of pop-ups. Hyun Han is in at first base. The pitch is lined towards short. Boardman snags it. And there's 2 down for Cy Turner, who's been aboard with a couple free passes, a walk and hit by pitch. He's also struck out and popped out, and he'll be called back, and Dominic Nahar will be the pinch hitter. The first one to Nahar is fouled at home plate.
Now batting
That counts.
for number 23,
0-1. Just wrapped up his junior year at Cal State East Bay, where he hit .329 with 9 extra base hits. He's behind 0-1 to Polis, who pitches, and this one's grounded to Boardman, who gloves, sets his feet, throws to first in time to get the speedy Dominic Nahar. Polis is picked up by a caught stealing, but it will be the top of the Stompers order. Akers, Boardman, and Sebastiani 2 up in the 9th. Sonoma trailing Alameda 4-3 on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. Back to the bullpen goes TC Fairfield, and he calls upon, you'd have to assume he's going to be his closer the rest of the year, Will Bonini out of the College of San Mateo. At 14 games, all of them in relief, 22 innings, 19 strikeouts, and he pitched to a 4.09 ERA. And he has to deal with the big three for Sonoma, Akers, Boardman, and Sebastiani here in the ninth, and what's been an ugly affair here at Arnold Field.
And just 3 singles from these top 3, 2 of which from Akers and 1 from Boardman.
Both teams with 5 hits. The Stompers trail by just a run. It's not for lack of chances, especially these last. There's been multiple runners aboard now, 3 innings in a row. The pitch in there for a called strike one at 85. Akers struck out his first 2 trips. He singled his last 2 trips. And Winchell goes back out to the mound to talk to Bonini just like he did before that pitch. So clearly the battery not on the same page.
And if you're not on the same page, you're pretty lucky to have a called strike one to start. That was a solid pitch. You go off speed on that outside corner and steal one.
This would be a tough league contest to drop if you're Sonoma. Bonini sets at the belt. Pitches. Akers takes a called strike 2. 86, center cut.
And you got to be hunting fastball there. You don't really know what the wrinkle looks like from the new pitcher, so you got to be looking for the first fastball you get, and it just lets one go middle.
Now we'll see if Bonini uses that wrinkle. He's way out ahead, 0-2. Right on right, Bonini to Akers. Called strike 3 at the knees, and there's 1 down. That brings up the lefty Colton Boardman.
Number 3, Colton Boardman.
That brings up Colton Boardman. Singled, walked, bounced into a fielder's choice, and way down to sacrifice bunt where he got thrown out by less than half a step. The pitch is low inside, and it's 1-0. Stompers and the Merchants will see each other a lot the rest of the way. Would be nice to get the first one, especially at home. The pitch. Boardman takes low inside, 2-0, and it's not a stealing situation if he would get on, but he's swiped a couple bags today.
And Nick Sebastiani behind him is more than due today. You might see a hit and run put on, but you got to be scrappy here in the bottom of the 9th.
2-0 to Boardman. Called strike. I don't hate that take. I mean, you need a base runner any way you can get it. But maybe that was 85 down the middle. Maybe you pull the trigger if you're Colton. You'll now see a 2-1. Inside 3-1. Sebastiani looming in the on-deck circle. Had his moments for the Stompers last year, led to his all CCO North honors, but looking to really get going here in 25. The 3-1 to Boardman is a cold strike. Oh, goodness. (3-2) coming to Boardman. Lined back up the middle, ranging over is Jeremiah, who fields and throws in time to get him. And that 3-1 has been called all night, but our Stractman system says is well off the plate away.
Well, and that makes the 2-0 take on the fastball down the middle, in my opinion, just an untakeable pitch because you know the zone's been inconsistent. You can't let the ump take the bat out of your hands, and he doesn't there, but he put himself in a one-strike hole that didn't need to be there.
That brings up Nick Sebastiani, who represents the last hope, and he's ahead 1-0 as that one misses high and tight. Is lined into left center field, a base hit. Moving over to cut it off is Ryland, but the Stompers won't go quietly. They now have the tying run at first base for the cleanup man, McCann Libby. And let's take you back to yesterday in the 6th inning. Put a ball over the fence for Sonoma. If they can do that here, it would end the ball game. 2 outs, man at first. McCann Libby trying to extend this game and maybe even send the Stomper faithful home happy. Sebastiani leads off first base. The pitch to Libby is low outside, 1-0.
And Libby hasn't had the ideal day at the plate, but you got to strap down here and do a job.
1-0 to the right-handed hitter out of Frisco. Outside, 2-0. Sepulveda on deck. Looking to time up Bonini. Libby ahead in the count, 2-0. We'll see if he gets something he likes. Sebastiani off first base with 2 outs in the 9th. Libby takes a strike on the inner third. 2-1. Two-one pitch coming to Libby. Stompers trail by 1 in the 9th. McCann takes outside, 3-1. And that would move the tying run into scoring position with Esteban Sepulveda on deck, but you want to see Libby unleash here on a 3-1. The pitch is grounded to third. Knocked down by Dittmer, who throws across the diamond in time to get him. And Chase Dittmer takes extra bases away from McCann Libby and secures a victory for the Alameda Merchants. And that's gonna do it in a game that really didn't go cleanly from the jump. Zach Pace ejected in the first inning, and it ends on a very nice defensive play. And umpiring aside, it wasn't a perfect game from the home plate umpire. Welcome to the California Collegiate League. That's going to happen. It wasn't even an objectively mediocre game from the home plate umpire. You have a tough call go against you at first, but you still had opportunities in the back 4 innings, Roman.
Yeah, and the Stompers just didn't have it offensively tonight especially. The starter wasn't great, but then the bullpen held their own. They put up a good battle throughout the last 8 innings. You just couldn't get consecutive hits going. You couldn't really get a lot of quality at-bats. Down the stretch, they sort of popped up, but it was just too little too late with the 1 run in the 8th. Ultimately, you got to play much better team offense moving forward, especially through CCL play when the stakes are a little bit higher. There's a little bit more competitive edge, and you know, on nights that you don't have the ideal umpiring to what you want, you still need to be able to execute and play good baseball.
Yeah, the Stompers drop this one to Alameda 4-3. They now start a 3-game series with the San Francisco Seagulls. That starts here tonight at 6:05. But you mentioned a little bit, I mean, the bullpen was great for Sonoma today. Leon really struggled, 3 earned runs in that first inning, and that turned out to be a mountain that was too high to climb. But Pelja to Roland to Olvera to Polis, they don't give up an earned run in the next 8.
Yeah, the bullpen was solid. They did what mostly they needed to do. They just were solid. They threw strikes. They knew what to do, but they didn't get any help from the offense.
So that sets up tomorrow's game with San Francisco. And that's the first of three. The Seagulls and the Stompers played a pretty tightly contested rivalry last year, and they go at it for three today. It's a tough one. 4-3 the final. 4 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Merchants. 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Stompers. Your winning pitcher is Kai Jovanovic. The loser is Brandon Leone. And Zane Bolts gets a hold for whatever that's worth, and Will Bonini picks up the save. Stompers dropped this one 4-3. It was a tightly contested battle. Zach Pace ejected in the first inning, an ugly one from the jump. But that's all we have today here from Sonoma. One last time, 4-3. The Merchants get the victory. They're 2-0 in CCL play. The Stompers drop to 1-2. We're back on the air tomorrow at 5:50 with the pregame show, and then first pitch at 6:05 between the Stompers and the Seagulls. For everybody that helps this broadcast production run, and my broadcast partner, Roman Raffelli, the Stompers lose 4-3. I'm Kieran Costa, signing off from Sonoma.